Hi everyone, it's Davey from EndlesslyHeSaid. Today is another record collection video. This is record collection number 4. Onto the records. The first record I have is Untitled by Sigur Ros. The front cover, the back cover. This is on a die cut sleeve, printed inner sleeves here, and another one. Black vinyl. So it comes with a CD version of this. I love this record. I feel like I could confidently say this is probably one of my favourite records of all time. It definitely introduced me to a type of music that I wasn't really aware about, and that post-rock instrumental thing has been like a pretty decent impact in my musical listening. I remember when this came out and listening to it and going to sleep listening to it almost every night. And there was a point when, did everyone have Last FM? Do you remember that from back in the day when we all had MySpace too? There was a point where Sigur Ros and these tracks were like easily the most played tracks or the most listened to in length of time. It's really great, travelling, instrumental, Icelandic, post. Now I have 2 other Sigur Ros records, so bear with me on that little adventure. One that knows Sigur Ros, the next record should be Tak, but I don't have that. Short story. An ex-girlfriend was going to give it to me as a birthday present, and then I broke up with her. And obviously it wasn't the right person for me, but she kept the record. It had a little 10-inch inside it, and now I think they've reissued it in different styles. I need to get that record somehow. The next Sigur Ros record is Valtari. This is a front cover, track listing on the back here. 8-fold. It's just black vinyl. It plays really well. It's from 2012, so it's kind of one of their more recent releases, and Sigur Ros for me like progressively get gloomier and more intense, and I think this record really does that. It's got this nice kind of spring feeling to some of it, but it gets kind of dark in places. I really love that about Sigur Ros. The last Sigur Ros record I have is Kveikur. This is the front cover, back cover. Also a gatefold, very different take on this. Done with black vinyl, black dust sheets. What's really interesting about this record is it actually came with the limited 10-inch. It's just black vinyl, and there's 2 tracks on one side, 1 track on another side. The time I got to see Sigur Ros a few years ago, I think 2013, was this record tour, this album tour, and this record is pretty heavy as far as Sigur Ros go. There's a lot of like gloomy, moody moments, but a lot of like hard-hitting moments on there amongst all of that beauty. I would sincerely recommend everybody go see Sigur Ros live. It brought me to tears, and it was probably one of the best live experiences that I've had. This record before, Simmer, Paper Planes. I think this is a Record Store Day exclusive from maybe 2 years ago. This is Slipknot, Volume 3, Subliminal Verses. This is the front cover, the back cover. Gatefold vinyl, really cool printed dust sheets. A clear, heavy vinyl. This is the other printed dust sheet just here. Let's talk about Slipknot. So I know this is one of Curtis's favourite bands. Shout out Curtis if you're watching this still. They were a big deal for me back in the day. I remember getting the first record and I really loved that. I wasn't as big a fan of Iowa. I think that's some people's favourite Slipknot record though. It was I guess it was like a little too chaotic for me at the time, but this one I really loved. Plus I had some really good singles on it, I had some really good tunes going on too, so yeah, I'm really glad I've got this. It's a nice record to have in the collection. I'd like to get the first album as well. I think that would be really nice too. So the next record I have is by one of my favourite bands. This is Shockwave, Autohate. This is the front cover, this is the back cover. A real classic DIY printed inner sleeve thing, just on black vinyl. I picked this up on Good Life Recordings and I mail ordered it from them, and for anyone in Europe or anyone overseas that wants good European distribution or European hardcore and some American stuff, I can't recommend ordering from Good Life Recordings enough. It was a little bit strange, it wasn't your smooth like buying stuff, like you did have to have good communication with the label, but they sent me an extra poster, they sent me CDs, they sent me stuff like I just wasn't expecting, and yeah, that was a really nice surprise. I think I got a Juliana Theory CD and I got a Brothers Keeper poster. yeah, good label to order stuff from. I have another Shockwave record. So this is actually the record store day version of their Discography, and this came out on Organized Crime Records. Here is the back cover. Really cool gatefold inside. This is the printed inner, complete recording, so it's got the records that it compiles on the back there. This comes out on clear vinyl. It's really cool. This also has a red flexi disc with a bonus track called Afflicted Past. Hold the flexi disc over the inner sleeve and actually like decodes it. So Afflicted Past is a Hatebreed cover, and it was on a tribute album called A Call for Blood. Might have shown this before, I'm not sure, but I was so glad to get this. Like, Shockwave are one of my favourite hardcore bands. I had a real joy of watching a covers set of theirs back at Cornerstone. I'll try and find that and link it in the description below. It was a barn show, and it was the most surreal thing with guys from like Call to Preserve and Seventh Star and Jawbone playing like Shockwave songs. I really regret not going to see Shockwave in about 2009 when they played DecemberCon, but if they do announce any shows, I'm coming for you, whether that's in Pennsylvania or wherever. We're going to keep on a similar tack for records. This is Sleeping Giant, Sons of Thunder. Here's the front cover, the back cover. There's a lyric sheet here and the thanks on the back here. I got this on blue vinyl. I feel like this is the first like properly blue vinyl I've shown recently. So I don't have any more Sleeping Giant records. I know that there are more out on vinyl. I am trying to hunt them down and do that big Face Down Records order. This is Face Down Records and No Sleep collaborating on it. And I know you can still maybe pick this up for quite cheap from No Sleep Records, so I'd recommend like looking about. If you are a big Sleeping Giant fan, it's worth checking that out. Sleeping Giant are one of those heavy bands that I just love. I got to see them at Cornerstone and it was unreal. They've never really played in the UK at all, much less Europe, I don't think. And so while Tommy Green's been over and members have for various different like ministry type things, they've never really played a show here. But I've seen them at Cornerstone. Apparently I'm in some kind of DVD with them playing. The DVD's called Christcore. You can probably watch that set online. It's from Cornerstone, I think 2011, and yeah, they were incredible. Like one of the best live bands that I've seen for like heavy Christian music for sure, and one of the bands that I continually listen to today. It's the band that came after Death Star, if you were into like that old straight edge like metal-y hardcore. So if you like that kind of stuff, like you like that straight edge metal-y hardcore, I'd really recommend checking out Sleeping Giant as well. Something completely different. This is the Smashing Pumpkins with Siamese Dream. The back cover is on a beautiful gatefold, just black vinyl. I think I got it at a record fair, so it was nice to be able to buy it in person. Smashing Pumpkins I love. I think this is probably one of my favourite albums of theirs. It's got my favourite Smashing Pumpkins song, which is Today on there. I really love Cherub Rock, and I really love Silverfuck as well. Smashing Pumpkins are great. I think they maybe have had their day, and I worry about a reunion because I think they've not had original members for a long time, but I heard that Billy Corrigan was getting the band back together. Last I saw, Billy Corrigan was announcing wrestling, right? He was on TNA. Someone confirm or deny this for me, because I felt like I was dreaming when I saw him. Here's the back cover. Full printed sleeve. That's the back of that. And there's the vinyl. I love the Smiths, love Morrissey. Meat is Murder is quintessential. I think you should all go vegan. And I mean, it took Morrissey a while, right? He was vegetarian for a long time, but yeah, you should all go vegan, or at least try vegetarianism. It was cool seeing Morrissey when I first saw him. He was playing in London and he had this like huge video going on for when he played Meat is Murder, and yeah, that was impactful. He obviously has got a lot of controversy around him, whether you like him or hate him. I think you can't really deny the impact that he's had on music and culture. Next record is Spirit's Discontent. I definitely showed this record after Fluff Fest, which is where I picked it up. Really great straight edge band from Boston, Massachusetts. I can't remember if I've shown this or not, but this is Strength and What Remains, Turning a Blind Eye. Cool little inner sleeve, lyric sheet, pink vinyl. I love this band. I was speaking about their 7-inch Justice Creep Slow in a video that didn't seem that long ago, and they're on tour in Southeast Asia right now. I mean, they just played a show in China, which for me is a bit mind-blowing for bands that get to play China. I've only seen it happen once or twice, but I'm really glad that that's like opening up to hardcore and punk bands. They are from Florida. They play kind of metallic but good upfront hardcore. If you like kind of Buried Alive, Madball, that kind of vibe, then I think you pretty much dig them. They are hopefully recording a new full length really soon, which I'm excited about. They've got a lot of good people in that band too. They have a really strong message, like some vegan straight edge dudes and some like people that are just really passionate about their politics. The last record for this video is Sufjan Stevens, Carrie and Lowell. Back cover, cool printed sleeve. The lyrics are just there on the back, black vinyl. I listened to this record a lot in 2015 and I remember buying it when it came out and there was a lot of hype around it. I listened to bits of Sufjan Stevens for a little while. Illinois was a record that I got into quite a lot, but this is something else. Like, this standing alone is one of my favourite records recently in the last few years, and it's just, it's so melancholy. It's about his mother and father and them dying, and it just, yeah, it really strikes a chord. And I would recommend listening to this for anyone that likes folk, acoustic, any kind of like calm music or even post-rock vibes. Like, you should check out Sufjan Stevens, particularly this record. I know he's got a new one coming out this year, I think, or just about to come out. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm sure it's going to be something completely different. That about wraps it up for record video number 4. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Be safe, enjoy life, and have fun. Take care. Bye.